game between Mount Horeb and Dodgeville. Mount Horeb at the time was a conference favorite. They had Emerson, who was one of the finest basketball players in the league. In fact, he scored 37 points against Cuba City. This team comprised of 4 juniors and a senior. The senior was Dennis Stevens. The guards out there, Jerry Ayers was a junior. Number 44 was Tim Meister. The center was Rich Heimerl. The other forward, Neil Nelson. This team ended up second in the conference, tied with Mount Horeb as Cuba City won it. We were kind of a deliberate team. The left-hander Neil Nelson, who now coaches the University of Wisconsin-Waukesha, was an outstanding left-handed shooter. Danny Stevens, number 12, was a pretty good kid and drove to the basket well. As you notice, Heimerl was around 6'3", very thin. We ran a 2-3 zone, matchup zone. That's Nelson with the ball right there. Nelson shooting the left-hand corner shot. So we worked for him on the corner shot. The next year, this team won the conference championship. To Stevens. Stevens out to Ayers. Ayers always took one bounce. Always took the dribble. Always put it down. He still does. I see that. Pass into Heimerl should have passed the ball or worked for pressure. He felt pressure back there, but never passed the ball out. So we had overload on this side with Nelson on the corner. Now, Meister was a real strong kid, too. Both he and Nelson made all-conference the next year. As you notice, we're just working, constantly working inside. There's Nelson with the shot, and the ball was good. This was a big upset. Mount Horeb had just defeated Madison Memorial and defeated Madison Edgewood, and they were undefeated, as we were. And we ended up winning this game. I think that was Emerson there. We held Emerson to his lowest total all year long. He scored 18 points. Stevens back in there to Nelson, back out front to Ayers. There's Nelson, and Emerson's got the ball. Emerson was about 6'3", played basketball at North Dakota State. Still not looking to score Heimerl. But you see, he could get pretty good inside position, really hustled. Now we had Meister going in that 2-3 zone. Pretty good defensive team, this team. You know, it's the crowd. We've always had real good crowds here. And this is from a film. Defensively, having a struggle right there. See, we're running kind of an overload, trying to get inside. There was a good pass into Meister, but didn't score. Emerson from the side, and we're on the boards. There, Heimerl gets inside. Nice pass inside, and it got inside there. Attacked the press pretty good. There's Meister. Meister into Heimerl. Heimerl now gets stuffed. Back to the corner, out front to Ayers. Ayers dribbles to the side. Back to Meister overhead. To Ayers, to Stevens, to Nelson. Kind of perimeter, just actually trying to get into the gaps. Kept working. There's Stevens. And Meister's always inside. That's when the jump ball was. Mount Horeb had a pretty strong team. Tried to press us. We handled the ball real well. 22 was Nelson. He was always set. A nice shot. Heimerl was over the back, but they didn't call him. We attacked the press with our center taking the ball out and then hitting the guards, and the guard would hit back into the middle, and we'd go to the weak side. That was a nice shovel pass, good pass from Ayers to Heimerl. It was dark. This was film, and see, didn't come out too good. Just overload. We looked inside. Always look inside first. There's a good ball fake by Ayers, and then Denny Stevens comes in and just throws it up there. Go in there, try for the 3. Ayers out front. Still trying to get into the gaps. Back to Nelson, to Ayers, to Stevens. Back to Meister, into Heimel. Back out to... See, we move the ball quick. There's Heimel. Coming across, no good. Still don't know what the score is. The photographers did kind of a weak job of showing the scoreboard. Actually, on videotape, we should just... there's Ayers. Doesn't shoot very much, but he took a nice shot. Down to Emerson there. Back to Nelson. Now we're bringing it inside. Probably made a layup. Back out of a screen. Ayers to Nelson. No good. There, look there. See, Tim Meister. Tim Meister about 5'11", but boy, he got inside position about as good as anybody. Nice pass from Ayers to Heimel. Heimel really worked the ball inside. Very good team player. Now the pressure. We didn't bring it up very good. I mean, we brought it up good. Should have stayed out of that side. Ayers dumped it into Heimel. Basket was good. See, he went penetrated. They tried to drop him, and he dropped it right off to Heimel. Over the back, should have called it. See, Emerson was making the ball active. Emerson, an excellent player, averaged 27 points a game. Back to Nelson. Nelson to Heimel. Back to, to Meister. Meister got the baseline, laid her right up. There's Denny Stevens. Laid her up, boy. The crowd really got into this. Mount Horeb was a great rival of ours. But the ball went inside there. Didn't do a very good job of fronting up the middle. Meister held the ball up. Back to Heimel. To Stevens, to Ayers on that side. Ayers fires from long range. No good. Heimel with a jump ball. Back to Stevens. And Stevens now working to the left side. Back to Ayers. Ball fake. Stevens to Nelson. Coming across. Meister's in that corner there. Nelson's on the other side. See, we just looked inside to Heimel, who's 6'3", and grew to 6'5" when he became a senior. There's Stevens in the layup again. Now he made it. Now they shot through and a foul. Should never happen. Pressure. We didn't handle pressure this year very good. Meister bringing it down. Meister was a real ball hawk. No outside threat, but boy, inside. Excellent free throw shooter, too. Meister to Stevens. Stevens and Ayers were the guards. Then we had Heimel breaking across. Stevens fires from long range. Bango. Some of these guys really would have, Nelson and Stevens love that three-point play. There's a nice pass into Meister. Short. Now we're playing a little better defense. Back there. There's Emerson throwing the ball away. Now they got him out here. Number 25. About 6'3", could jump. Excellent ball player. He's one of the best. Back to Heimel. Well, we started getting that ball inside now. They tried to put Emerson on defense. There's one of their big dudes. Gets the ball. This was a shock to them. Heimel. Ayers gets the ball back out to Nelson. Now, see? Boy, he was desperate. Faked one way, tried it. There was an excellent rebound by Meister again. Stevens to Ayers. Back to Stevens. Pass into Meister. Look at him get inside position. There's Emerson from downtown. Now over the back and everything else. They were letting him get away with murder there. There's that big dude again. Strong kid. We always had a difficult time with a physical team. There's Stevens. And then Meister got fouled. Stevens drove. Maybe it was blocked. There's our out-of-bounds play set up for Nelson in the corner. But it was no good. There's Emerson driving, shooting from way out range. See, we went to the corner too much. We got caught then when we played Cuba City. They had this, looked like a full court press and just lured us into the half court press and really hurt us. Next time we played it, they didn't hurt us as bad. See, we're playing with it out here now. Stevens. Back out to Jerry Stevens. Jerry Air now. We're not doing too much movement now. I think we want to spread it out. Back to Meister. Stevens stolen away. And here comes Mount Horeb back. Meister. Meister back to Stevens. And he throws the ball away. There's Emerson. And it's stolen away by Meister. Meister was everywhere. The other way, Jerry. Bounce pass. We try to trap at the corner a little bit. My guy took a bad shot. Now, that was a poor play by Heimel. Should have passed it right out to Ayers. Try to go back. Now we got the jump ball. Laid it up. They didn't have anybody back. We won the game 58-51.